Morning. How are you, sir? Deputy Snail with the Sampson County Sheriff's Office. You got your license and registration on you?
I do. Okay. All right, may I ask what the stop is for, sir?
I'll let you know as soon as you give me your ID. Who you work for there?
Delmar Oil Company.
Delmar Oil Company?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long you been there?
May I ask why that is?
Well, I'm just talking, Jim. I see your shirt there. I'm just asking. Is it wrong to ask you questions about where you work?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what that has to do with the stop.
Are you okay? Where are you coming from now?
I'm trying to understand the relation to the traffic stop.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out where you're coming from, where you're going, mess like that.
So I have to identify where I'm traveling to and from during the traffic stop?
All right, hang tight here just a minute, buddy.
I don't understand. Like, what the what's going on?
This video is brought to you by our brand new hot off the press design, I Can't Believe It's Not Louder. The link is in the description. Now, a lot of people will tell me, Brian, you are blowing things way out of proportion here. You're constantly saying, I'm outraged at the injustice of ... Hey, at least this guy's not getting tased. At least he's not getting thrown to the ground. At least the torture cuffs aren't being placed tightly around his wrist and he's being thrown into a car, taken for fingerprinting and thrown into a you-know-what cage where anybody can pretty much have their way with you for as long as you're in that cage. But you got to understand, there are levels to tyranny, and you can't let level 1 go, because before you know it, in the flash, in the blink of an eye, you're going to be up to level 9, 10, 11. It's going to go off the charts. So when you see stuff like this, especially among the law enforcement class who claims that they're there to protect and serve, when they're out there conducting their fishing expeditions to try to find something against you, alarm bells have to be going off. There have to be red flags on the field, and we have to be willing to stand up to it, no matter where it's found, no matter who it's done to, and no matter to what degree of tyranny. So I'm going to play this for you. You'll never guess why this guy right here was pulled over. This is Anthony Perry traveling peacefully down Highway 403, not harming anybody. He's in North Carolina. And then he gets pulled over by Deputy Snail of the Sampson County Sheriff's Office just outside of Clinton, North Carolina. Here's what he gets pulled over for.
Like, I got to record this, bro. Like, this makes absolutely no sense, bro.
Good morning. How are you, sir? Deputy Snail with the Sampson County Sheriff's Office. You got your license and registration on you?
I do. Okay. All right, may I ask what the stop is for, sir?
I'll let you know as soon as you give me your ID. Who you work for there? Your shirt?
Delmar Oil Company.
Delmar Oil Company?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long you been there?
May I ask why that is?
Well, I'm just talking, Jim. I see your shirt there. I'm just asking.
I'm just making small talk. Yes, I just did show you that I'm a road pirate. I pulled you over. You weren't doing anything wrong. He'll tell you in a second. You weren't doing anything wrong. I'm just here to harass you. That's pretty much my job. Now I'm going to make small talk. Now, don't get upset if I start making small talk with you as I'm engaged in criminal activity.
Is it wrong to ask you questions about where you work?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what that has to do with the stop.
Okay. All right. Well, if you don't want, just casual conversation, that's fine.
Since
I got you stopped there. You're driving 65, and you speed limit 70. I'm just wondering what's wrong. I mean, are you okay?
Oh my God! I got you pulled over for 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, 15 miles an hour over, 20 miles under. No, I got you pulled over for 5 miles an hour under the speed limit. What is the reasonable, articulable suspicion that you've committed a crime? I know there's a Supreme Court case, I think it's called State versus Bond, where they said, yeah, the cop had a perfect right to pull this guy over because he was traveling 10 miles an hour under the speed limit, and come to find out he was inebriated. But who gets to define reasonable and reasonable articulable suspicion? They're not even coming close to the probable cause standard of what they swore to from the Fourth Amendment to be secure. It's there to be secure in your person's houses, papers, and effects, and it shall not be violated without probable cause. Reasonable articulable suspicion is way down here. And when they do things like this in the name of traffic law or law enforcement or whatever, it's far from reasonable to the person who's exercising common sense.
Other than,
you okay? You ain't
traveling 5 miles below the speed limit.
Yes, sir. I'm just checking on you. That's all I'm doing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You good?
I'm great.
Awesome.
How are you?
I'm doing better than I deserve, you know.
And right there, you have video evidence of one of those rare occasions where a cop actually told the truth. Yeah, this cop, Officer Deputy Snail from the Sampson County Sheriff's Office in North Carolina, is doing better than he deserves.
You got the paperwork for the vehicle?
It's actually a rental car. The only paperwork that I have is via email.
It's what?
A rental car.
But what were you saying about something? You said something right after that.
The only paperwork they give you is via email.
Okay. You pull it up digitally?
I can.
Okay. How long you got it for?
Until I decide to take it back.
Oh, okay. They don't have like a scheduled day to return it?
They do, but unfortunately for my schedule right now, I'm not able to.
You still live in Clayton?
I do.
Okay. What's Pungo Court off of?
It's off of 7.
Question after question after question.
All right, there you go.
Stop answering questions.
It was due back yesterday at 2:30.
Okay. Where are you coming from now?
It just keeps on going. Guys, you are under no obligation to answer questions. As a matter of fact, how you can not answer questions is by asking them a question. Am I required by law to answer your questions? If I am required by law to answer your questions, can you please articulate the law that I'm supposed to go by? Let's just use that as a springboard. You can be completely nice about it. You can just shut up and say nothing, but then, it seems like cops get super sensitive about that. So you got this, let's just say, hey, you're driving over 70. I got you for speeding. You're driving under 70. Hey, it's really suspicious that you're driving under the speed limit. Or let's say you're driving exactly 70. Why are you trying so hard not to look suspicious? That's awfully suspicious. Unbelievable. You damned if you do, damned if you don't. This is why I wanted to show this video right here. You can be speeding and get pulled over. You could be doing the speed limit and get pulled over. You can be doing just barely under the speed limit, not traveling at a speed that would inhibit somebody else's right to travel, just traveling 5 miles, 3 miles, 7 miles, even 8 miles, 10 miles an hour under the speed limit. That is not unsafe if you're in the appropriate lane and you're not blocking traffic. They will look for any reason under the sun. This doesn't have to do with racism. This has to do, well, it could. I don't know. I can't read the heart of man. But generally speaking, it doesn't have to do with racism. It has to do with totalitarianism and the fact that some power-tripping authoritarian wants to display his power because he knows you got to submit.
Where am I coming from?
Yes, sir.
Goldsboro.
Goldsboro. Is that where the office is?
I'm trying to understand what's the relation.
Do what?
I'm trying to understand the relation to the traffic stop.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out where you're coming from, where you're going, mess like that.
So I have to identify where I'm traveling to and from during the traffic
All right,
stop?
hang tight here just a minute, buddy.
I don't understand. Like, what the f*** is going on? Like,
He did not like that line of questioning. All right, that's it. Conversation's over.
yes, sir.
Videos there. This here's a warning, okay? No court date, no fine, nothing like that. You can throw this paper away when you get to the house. Ain't nothing to really worry about, all right?
Okay, what was the warning for?
All right. Have a good day, all
What
right?
was the warning for, sir?
What was the warning for? Keeps asking the question. What's it for?
He didn't even say what a warning been for, bro.
Now, he's taking his life into his own hands right here by getting out of the car to confront this cop. There's a lot of situations where this doesn't end up good for the driver.
Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to understand what the warning is for.
It's for traveling under the speed limit, okay?
Well, how
You were
fast did you
traveling.
say?
It's what you say is kind of suspicious to travel under the speed limit when the speed limit is 70.
Wouldn't you say it's suspicious? You know what I would say? I would say it's suspicious me going 5 miles an hour under the speed limit and you speeding to catch up with me to tell me that I wasn't speeding. I find that a little bit suspicious. Don't you find that suspicious? There's so many angles and so many things that you could have said in this situation. You know, typically it's just best not to say anything and just file the complaint. But I don't blame this guy for getting out of his car. It is a very dangerous thing to do when you're confronting a power tripping authoritarian. Basically, when a cop is pulling you over and they're like, hey, I'm just checking to see if you're all right, there's a translation to that, an unspoken translation. Hey, I'm just on a fishing expedition to figure out exactly how much I can F up your life right now, how much money I can take from you, how much jeopardy I can put you in. See if I can get you to say something that's going to help me take it to the next level, because I do not excel in de-escalation practices.
Well, from my perspective, I was traveling at 68.
I'm not going to argue. I got stuff to do, okay? Have a
I
good day.
did too when you stopped me, so I'm trying to understand. I'm trying
have
to,
a good
so I
morning.
don't make the same infraction. I'm trying to understand it.
Continue on with your day.
I'm not going to argue with you. I got stuff to do, says the guy who just pulled over a guy who actually does have stuff to do. A productive member of society who's not parasitically living off somebody else. Apparently, this guy, his name again is Anthony Perry. He went to the news. He's filed a complaint, and the news did a story. The local news did a story on him. Here's what he had to say.
Something needs to happen. I can't say what that is. All I ask is that if in fact there was something off about his stop, at a minimum, a training segment, that would improve his abilities to service the community.
If there was something off about his stop, obviously there was nothing just about that stop. Anybody with common sense and critical thinking skills can put two and two together and realize that Deputy Snail of the Sampson County Sheriff's Office was on a fishing expedition, and he was looking for a reason to pull somebody over so he could escalate it to the next level. Here's what the police department had to say when this local news agency reached out to the Sampson County Sheriff's Office for a response. Here's what they said.
In regards to the law regarding stopping someone under the speed limit, please keep in mind an officer only needs reasonable suspicion to stop a vehicle and not probable cause.
Yep. So what are they saying right there? All we need is a reasonable, articulable suspicion for the stop and not probable cause. In other words, we are willing to violate our oath because we know that the Fourth Amendment standard, the constitutional standard, the Bill of Rights standard is probable cause, but we're flipping the Fourth Amendment off and we're like, nah, screw the probable cause. We're going to go for reasonable, articulable suspicion. And oh, by the way, we, the police department, get to define what reasonable is. To us, it's reasonable to pull somebody over for doing 5 miles an hour under the speed limit. And a lot of those people probably really believe that because they have to. They have to be able to go to sleep at night thinking that they've actually done the right thing. Thank God people like Deputy Snail are out there getting all the evil monsters going 5 miles an hour under the speed limit, getting them off the road or at least detaining and harassing them. Oh, society is a way better place because of your efforts, Mr. Snail. When injustice happens to one man anywhere, injustice happens to all men everywhere. When they get to define what reasonable, articulable suspicion is, and they get to immerse themselves into cognitive dissonance so they can sleep at night and say, hey, all we need is RAS instead of probable cause, you've got the perfect petri dish for the growth of tyranny. And that's why I do these videos. By the way, I've got a brand new, if you want to support this channel, I've got a brand new shirt hot off the presses today. I'm ordering mine as soon as I get done doing this video. I can't believe it's not louder. Dealing with the AR-15, a little playoff. I can't believe it's not butter. But your purchase helps me produce more content. I've got a shirt store that's got over 100 designs. Maybe there's something there that you like. You can put on a shirt, hoodie, mug, hat, cell phone case, whatever you want. The takeaway from this video is the takeaway from all of my videos. The price of freedom is now and will always be eternal vigilance, and indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. Yeah, freedom is dangerous. It's uncomfortable. It can make people squirm in their seats a little bit. But the only thing more dangerous is not having freedom. If you're going to be found guilty of doing anything today, be found guilty of being excellent. I will see you in the next video.